back to the old school roots, don't get too surprised. Boom bap shit, we rap when I supervise. Told the fiends I wasn't serving, but I knew some guys ain't have digits, needed lyrics, so we used some lies.
What it do, what it don't do. I almost wasn't gonna smoke just because of the way it fucks up my voice when we do this, but this is a very special occasion, man. We have fucking officially hit 3 goddamn years, man. The first episode we ever recorded was August 1st, 2020. Doesn't even seem like it's been that long, to be honest.
I'm trying to. I have a terrible sense of time, but I'm trying to process it.
Well, I actually looked it up last night. I was like, when? I was like, what? I wanted to know the actual date, and like I was looking at the old episodes. I looked at the very first one, August 1st, 2020. I'm like, damn, it don't even seem like it's been that long. But
yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, when I first came to Washington.
3 fucking years, dog. We've been doing this podcast for 3 fucking years. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie, there's been a couple times where I thought we was done. I thought we was falling off, but I'm glad to see that's not the case at all. And couldn't have picked a better person to do this shit with. I'm very glad you decided to randomly fucking tweet that you wanted to start an MMA podcast.
Yeah, dude. It's something I was always passionate about. I mean, that's the only sport I've ever been into. Just never, basketball, football, that shit didn't ever interest me.
Yeah, 3 years is crazy. So there's been entirely too much MMA to cover it all. So I just thought for this episode we'd have a little fun with it, take some social media questions, talk about etc. etc. But got like 8 questions. Let's get started. Shit. Well, before we get started, I just want to let me say that to anybody who supported the Steezy Eazy, like, much love to you, much appreciation. We appreciate the support, and I hope y'all will continue to support us.
Bro, your shit cut out for a second.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like mid-sentence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of nuts.
Was it like fast though?
Yeah, I mean, you got your point across.
Fuck it.
Nuts.
I don't even know. I thought I saw it, but I looked down for a second. Like,
you should have said bloop bloop. It was back in.
Nah, it'll be okay.
I just didn't want to get your point all the way across.
Nah, but yeah, for everybody who's supported us over the last 3 years, I hope y'all will continue to support us. Like, I went and listened to like the first episode we ever did, and it was like so fucking different from the way we talk now. Like, because we didn't know each other at the time, and we were just like, fuck it, we're just gonna do this podcast, and like the development is what I'm most proud of. Like, we've come a long way from that first episode. My God, we just sounded like 2 motherfuckers who really didn't know what we were doing, but both loved MMA. And like to go from there to where we are now, like it's dope to see that, we have progressed so much over the years, and we went from just talking on doing voices to doing fucking videos and getting intros, and like I'm just proud of the development at the end of the day. But all right, let's get to these questions.
Let's go.
Let's get to these questions. It's just my day off, man.
I
don't mind getting super. Yeah, see, I don't mind getting super toasted on my day off, but I do try to I just try not to do too much because I'm trying to stay on that graveyard schedule even on my days off. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, because that
that
shit
shit,
is tough, dude.
yeah, it'll
I
throw
did it
you
for
all the
4 years.
yeah, it'll throw you all the way the fuck off. But all right, let's
Yeah,
get to these questions. Oh wait, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna bitch about switching sleeping schedules, but now we can
Oh,
skip forward. Unnecessary.
uh, but yeah, let's get to these. First question is from my boy Michael Scott. He said, "I want both of you guys' take on Kevin Lee retiring and his career. Love him or hate him, I'm intrigued. I'm kind of indifferent, to be honest, when it comes to Kevin Lee. Like, I wasn't like a huge fan of him. I wasn't. I wasn't a hater of him. Um, yeah, I don't. I don't really care about him retiring. I feel like that's probably the way to go. I was really surprised that he got another opportunity in the UFC because he really didn't do anything outside of the UFC to warrant a return. And
Yeah, his
I just,
decision, Diego Sanchez.
yeah, that doesn't really say, oh, bring me back to the UFC to me. I mean, like, I honestly just felt my overall assessment of Kevin Lee is he was way better than his mouth indicated. Like he talked a lot of shit, like a whole lot of shit. Talking about he saw holes in Khabib's game, talking about he sees holes in Connor's game, and like he talked a big game and didn't back it up at the end of the day. That's my assessment of Kevin Lee. How about you?
I just saw he was one of those dudes that just showed talent like he was gonna go somewhere and just kind of fell apart, man. He kind of was like a Dan Hardy, that you thought was like, oh, this guy might be able to do something, and then gets beat, and then it's like he loses that spark or whatever, just falls apart. Him fight Diego Sanchez to a decision was not like that was the last fight, and y'all like, yeah, fuck it, we'll take him back. I don't
Yeah,
really agree with that.
it's kind of wild to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Like mother, there's a lot of fighters who get cut from the UFC and have to like put in major work to even be considered to come back into the UFC. So, like to get a decision win over a massively declining Diego Sanchez, it's kind of crazy. Makes me think that Dana White just kind of really liked him as a person. Dana White does like to favor people.
I don't know, man. He's always going against. He's going against some motherfuckers. He might have just somebody might have pulled some strings or something.
I mean, but there's
Hey,
definitely guys that Dana White genuinely likes, and you can tell. Like, there's some guys that'll get cut after a two-fight losing streak. There's some guys that'll lose massive fights in a row and never even be considered to get cut. You know what I mean? He definitely favors fighters for sure. I don't care what anybody says. Like, that's just my personal opinion. But
I mean, of course.
thank you for your question, Michael Scott. Now this question is from my boy Ruben Carter. He said, "This is kind of hard because five is a lot." But he said, "Name five fighters you think will be a future champion." Five is a lot,
Five,
man. Yeah, five is a lot, but I'm gonna try.
bro. I'd have to like research and shit. Like I'd have to pull that shit up.
Um, I mean, I don't even want to say will be a future champ, but I can name five fighters who definitely have potential to be champion. You know what I mean? Like, I think Almeida.
Yeah, you're gonna speak for both of us. Yeah, that for sure, man. That guy is a fucking problem. He's able to. He was what Habib was, man. This dude just smothers you and you're done, dude. I'm really
Yeah,
impressed with him.
I'll take Almeida. Um, I'll take Tuporia. He definitely could potentially be champion one day.
Eventually,
Um, shit, hell, fucking Bo Nickel could potentially be champion one day. Like,
if they play
you know
his
what I
cards
mean?
right.
If he well, I mean, he got a KO in his last fight, so you know what I mean. Like, if
Yeah,
he
that was.
continues to if he continues to develop the striking as on top of the great wrestling that he already has, you know what I mean? Like, you could definitely see Bo Nickel. That's three. You just gonna let me name the five?
And yeah, you're gonna name them, and I'm just gonna give banter on them.
All
So
right.
yeah, the Bo Nichols. I think if the UFC plays him correct, they could dare until this dude and rush him, and he gets, what I mean, like a 20-year-old early kid getting fucking smacked by Tyron Woodley in his prime. They could do
100%.
some dumb shit like that and completely fuck his career over, or they could play his ass like it's a game of chess, move that nigga just accordingly, to give him the right shot at the right time, just to
Oh,
skyrocket
100%.
his career.
100%. Okay, so that's
So,
3. Oh, my bad.
no, that was pretty much it.
Okay. That's 3. I'm gonna go back to heavyweight and say Pavlovich.
Yeah,
It's,
man.
it's another
Him
dog.
versus Aspinall. I think Aspinall's he's a lot quicker. He might be able to slip and catch him or some shit. Because I feel like he gets like robotic and starts winging at niggas. And I think Aspinall might be able to ollie his ass and slip and counter with like a lead hook or some shit. I really think Aspinall could beat him.
Aspinall's another good one. It's hard,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
That's a lot of fighters, a lot of weight classes, a lot of up and comers that you don't really know who or what they're gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, man, that's 3 in the heavyweight division alone: Aspinall, Pavlovich, and Almeida.
Isn't that nuts? The heavyweight division
But
finally
that
got
says
some
a lot
depth.
about like how back and forth it is with the heavyweight championship, dude. Nobody really holds that belt for very long.
Stipe.
Like, I mean, other than Stipe.
But he's been sitting on it
But
for
I
a while
mean,
now.
Stipe.
Oh, well, no,
Stipe
I'm
needed
tripping.
what three?
He's
Stipe
been
needed
sitting
what
out.
3 defenses to have the most defenses? That's not a lot, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it was always just bouncing. I think the bantamweight was like that too, right? Am I tripping?
Um,
Wait,
it's been
because
a
Hayden
couple
Barrow had
titles.
it, then Dillashaw, then
And then
Cruz. Yeah, I think that
Cruz.
might have been one that was bouncing around. Anyways, I think we talked about this question for a while. I don't know.
He's fried. But yeah,
If you're
shout out to Ribbon
obliterated.
Carter for your question. This next question is from Captain Serial. He said this question is for both of us, so you got to answer this one too.
Right on.
He said, "Who would you say are your top 3 favorite active fighters in the UFC?" Yeah, that's a way more simpler question to answer. I'll let you go first.
My 3 favorite active.
Active.
Dude, this is so biased. Uh,
That's what it's this. I mean, but this
yeah.
is one of those questions where it's actually supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
Gaethje's one of my favorites of all time, 100%. And Nate's not on it, so I can't give it to him. Man, and Josh Emmett. I don't know why, bro. That guy's my boy. Every time he fights, I root for him.
it's fair. One
Man,
more.
Aspinall, man, that's my boy too. That's
Okay,
another fighter. Those are 3 fighters that whenever they fight, man, I just am like locked in.
that's fair.
Those are for sure. Like, yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm gonna go Kevin Holland, Gaethje. Fucking love Gaethje too. I'm gonna
Hmm.
go Holland, Gaethje, and let's see. Okay, this is harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, dude, because it's
I
like,
mean, there's so many fighters I enjoy watching, despite what
hmm
everybody thinks. A lot of
it's
people on
like
Twitter
Andrew
think
had to answer the question.
a lot of people think I just hate on everybody, but I mean, there's a lot of
Hmm.
fighters that I genuinely enjoy watching fight. And I'm gonna go Max, man. I love Max.
Yeah,
I would have said Korean Zombie, but he's just not active enough for me. Like, we're talking about consistently active fighters. I'll go Holland. I'll go Holland, Max, and Gaethje for sure.
that's
He
fair.
also said, feel free to include y'all's social security numbers at the end of the answer too, which I'm not gonna do,
Link in
and
the
I
bio.
highly doubt Steezy is gonna do. Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for your question, Captain Cyril. Next question is from Kermit Gracie.
Oh yeah.
He said, "Do you think Francis Ngannou has a chance against Tyson Fury?" He said, "I'm thinking like a 5% chance personally."
He's
considering
got
he
a bunch of
survived
chances.
considering he survived Deontay, kind of makes me worry that even a banger from Francis might not be enough. Honestly, dude, it doesn't translate well when it comes to both sides. Like MMA fighters going into boxing does not translate well unless they're fighting other MMA fighters. Um, Anderson Silva is the only fighter that I can think of, MMA fighter who went from MMA to boxing and like was successful against an actual boxer. So it's kind of hard to say, man. Like Francis has deadly knockout power, but he's also going to be fighting with heavier gloves. You know what I mean? Like he's got the chance to catch him and maybe sleep him, which would be insane when you really think about it. When you look at the
That shit
body of
would be
work that Tyson
horrific.
Fury, oh, it would be so nuts. It would be so nuts.
Horrific. Damn.
I I'm gonna say no, man, just because like it doesn't translate well in my eyes. The only person I can really think of that had a decent boxing career outside of MMA is Kimbo Slice. Rest in peace. And honestly, the only reason he had more success in boxing than he did in MMA is because boxing is what he should have went to in the first place. Should have never
Bare
did it. He
knuckle
should have never did
was a
MMA.
thing.
If bare knuckle was a thing,
He'd be the logo.
Kimbo, yeah,
That nigga
exactly.
would be the logo.
But
That motherfucker
boxing,
would be the company.
boxing is what Kimbo should have went from backyard fights to. He should have never went to MMA. He was all hands. Like you just had too many.
Motherfucker was a tank.
Yeah, he
He's
was already
Tank or Tank Abbott. Yeah, basically.
he was already
That's what
up
he
in
was gonna be.
age. He was already up in age too. Like he was old when he was on the Ultimate Fighter and whatnot. Like he was like in his 40s, if I'm not mistaken,
No,
or
you're right.
very late 30s. So
He's
like
40.
he should have just never went to MMA ever. Like I understand he took the opportunity to run with it and ran with it. You know what I mean? The opportunity to be on tough, but like if they were gonna do that, they should have had him fucking fight somebody other than Roy Nelson, who was just gonna not engage with him whatsoever.
Yeah, that dude
But
does not
I,
care if he fights boring.
I'm a huge Nagano fan, but I'm gonna say he has a puncher's chance. I'm not even gonna give a percentage. I'm just gonna give a puncher's chance
Of
to
course.
maybe catch him and sleep him, but I don't see it happening. How about you?
I mean, in the fat ass gloves, not the MMA gloves, I don't think he really has much of a chance. He's just gonna be flailing uh, at Fury. If Fury wants he wants to win. I mean, he'll just make it a boring fight and just kind of stay on the outside and point fight because he has the ability to. But I mean, he can catch him in the later rounds with his chin up in the air, flailing. Francis can. He's got a slim
France,
chance, like not a whole lot. He just got to catch him when he's got his chin up in the air when he leans back. One of them blitzes, which I don't know if he's working with Mike Tyson, like he says. We'll see what he looks like. Maybe he work
and
because Francis learns fast, man.
yeah, and Tyson will definitely help him clean up a lot of that shit.
Yeah, that'll be
And
interesting because he
and
learns fast.
Wilder and Nagano are very similar in the sense that they both just kind of try to take
They
your
wing
fucking
shit.
head off. Yeah, they wing shit, and then
Hmm.
they just happen to be blessed with so much knockout power that they've never really had to be technical because
Yeah,
one clean shot is going to put you out.
any of them.
So
Any of the fucking 100 that are coming at your head will put you to sleep.
I
So
mean,
he's
I'm
got
intrigued.
that chance.
I'm gonna watch. I will be rooting for Nagano. I just don't see it happening. You feel
Oh
me?
yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, if it happens, you better call out Tyson Fury. I mean, you better call out Wilder.
I
Imagine.
believe that's who he wanted first, and I feel like
Yeah, that would have been nuts.
he would have had a much
A
better chance of
war.
beating Wilder. He would have had a much better chance of beating Wilder.
Yeah, because they're just gonna go to war. So if he somehow puts out Fury and then calls out Tyson. I mean, calls out Wilder. I'm tripping. That shit would be ludicrous. That
And I would
motherfucker would be making
honestly,
Connor money.
I would honestly give Nagano the slight advantage in the technical
Against
department when it no, in the
yeah,
technical department when it comes to the striking. Like I feel like
against
they
Wilder,
both
yeah.
kind of wing punches, but I feel like Nagano is just a step above them. They're
That
both.
shit would be competitive.
I'm a huge Wilder fan too, but sometimes I watch his fights and I'd be like, how the fuck did
Well,
this nigga
Francis
fucking
throws
go
jabs.
undefeated for so long? Like,
Francis throws jabs, man. He might catch his ass. That shit would be bananas. I'd much rather prefer to watch that than against Fury because Fury has the option to point fight. Wilder ain't gonna point fight. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker trying to take your head off. Fury could kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of stand the outside, just flicker jab you, and
100%,
body
100%.
shot, take him out like that. I don't know. The fight Wilder against fucking Francis, that would be insane. Bananas.
All right, this next question is from Tino Ladobo. I hope I said that correctly. He said, what is more likely to happen? Take a current top 10 pound for pound UFC fighter and train them to become a top 10 pound for pound boxer, or vice versa? I always say it would be easier to train a boxer to be a high level MMA fighter than vice versa because you can't catch up to the lifetime of training. Um, that's a hard fucking question for me because
I
again,
got it.
like every boxer who tries to transition in MMA, it doesn't go well. And vice versa, like every MMA fighter who tries to transition into boxing, it doesn't really go well. I fuck man. He thinks it would be easier to train a boxer to be a high level MMA fighter, but I kind of disagree because you're gonna have to
Hmm.
learn a hell of a lot more. If you're going from boxing to MMA, you're gonna have to learn takedown defense. You're gonna have to learn grappling. You're gonna have to learn submission defense. Whereas opposed to an MMA fighter, you just got to get better at something that you already do. You feel me?
Yeah, but the boxing is just so much way. There's different techniques. It's just the way you stand, the way you block, the way you move your head. So I think they're both. This is kind of they're both the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're both equally different. Like if you were trying to come into MMA, if you're a kickboxer or just a boxer in general, it's Greek to you. If you get put on the ground, you're not gonna have a fucking clue. You're gonna get up the wrong way, and they're gonna take your back, you know, or just hold you down. Unless you're completely skyrocketed, like this kickboxer that's coming through. You know what I mean? Like Alex Pereira, that shit is an anomaly. That's just because bad blood. So they skyrocket that motherfucker. That shit does not happen. You never see boxers go into MMA and just start smoking niggas. So it's like they're both equally. Some people have success, they look alright, but you to be a boxer, you have to do that shit for years. To be an MMA fighter, you have to have grappled or done some sort of art for years. So I don't know. They're
I
equal.
agree. I agree to a certain extent, but
Hmm.
you ain't got to worry about knees in boxing. You ain't got to worry about elbows in boxing. You ain't got to worry about getting taken down in boxing. You ain't got to worry about getting submitted in boxing. I just feel like there's so many more elements to fighting that you have to worry about in MMA. Like
Definitely
I
way more
honest,
ways to get hurt.
yeah, for sure. Like leg kicks. There's just so many different things where I mean I'm not saying boxing is easier by any means, but
Hmm.
like you're only worried about the guy's hands.
Well,
Only.
boxing,
You know what I mean?
uh, that's a sport, man. I hate that people gonna get mad, but that shit's a sport. Like niggas can just decide to point fight you. Like that shit. I know you can do that same shit in MMA, but it's boxing is a sport. Like niggas will straight up point fight you. Like there's an art to that shit. MMA is more of a fight because niggas, can grapple you and beat your ass any means. So they can't just point fight you like a nigga can in boxing where you just jabs you and circles around you and shit. MMA, the nigga grab your ass if you're gonna do that shit.
I'm
Also,
I'm I'm
stoned.
I'm gonna say it would be easier to take an MMA fighter and train them to be a top boxer. Just because I feel like there's just so many more things you have to worry about in MMA. That's really my only argument for it. I don't know. It's a hard question. It really is.
I'm gonna say maybe if you just take a boxer, you teach his ass how to fucking defend some takedowns for a year or two, you might have a chance. But if you take an MMA guy, well, I guess it depends on what kind of MMA guy. Like, let's say a predominantly a wrestler, and then try to teach him how to box. I don't know. You might be fucked for a while. So that motherfucker realizes, the mechanics and shit. So whatever I started with was my answer. Whatever I engaged this rant with, they could run it back and then decide.
That's hilarious.
I
All
mowed
right,
a
this
lawn today. Allow me to explain myself. I mowed a lawn today, and they paid me with a bag of weed. And the motherfucker warned me.
yeah, that'll do it.
He said, smoke it when you ain't got nothing to do. I ripped that motherfucker. He wasn't lying.
All right, this next question is from Q Romy Rome. You obviously know who that is. She said,
She's the
"What
best.
woman?" Yeah, she is. She said, "Oh
What's
man,
that?
I don't know if I can answer her second question because that would, as high as I am, that would take me all fucking day." But she says, first question is, what woman, if any, brings the heat to women's MMA, and who is currently the most exciting newcomers in each division? I'm like, each division? God damn. That I don't think I could ever answer that question. That's too many damn fighters. Too many divisions. Probably I could give you a couple, but they'd probably be in the same division. uh
Yo, is my
but
shit
what
bugging at all?
no.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait.
Right on.
You are kind of frozen.
Okay.
You were
I'm
you
just
were
pulling
frozen.
up some. I'm
I
pulling
can
up
hear you.
some shit. I can.
Oh yeah, you froze yourself when you did
Okay.
that. Don't do that.
I have to look up the motherfucking roster, man. It's just gonna be like that in depth. Because I remember faces. You know what I mean? I don't remember names.
What woman, if any, brings the heat to MMA? I mean, a lot of women bring the heat. I mean, Nunez just retired. She always brought the heat.
That was a perfect send off. She was
Jessica
running
Andrade,
everything.
Jessica Andrade always brings the heat. Cyborg always brings the heat. Um, who else always brings the heat? Angela Hill always brings the heat. She doesn't always win, but she always brings it. Mackenzie Dern always brings the heat. There's a lot of women who bring the heat.
Yo, she's a prospect now too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Who's
Now that
she fighting
she's
next?
Dern,
Yeah,
I
she's got a
don't
fight
remember.
booked.
I don't remember. But
Cause
yeah,
she's got hands now. She just beat up
yeah,
Hill. That's who it was. We thought Hill was gonna put the hands on her, and then Dern striking was nuts.
nah,
And it's like she could still choke your ass out.
she's getting really scary, well rounded, and that's not good for anybody.
It's interesting.
As
Division.
far as currently the most exciting newcomers in each division, I can't do each division because I just can't. That's a lot of
Who's
fighters.
the one that just won the last couple weeks? She just won like 2 weeks ago.
There's a lot of dudes that are a problem. I just
Oh, we're talking
it's
about
just a
dudes
lot
now.
of That's just oh no, oh yeah. She just said most exciting newcomers in each division, like period. Just fighters in general. The first question was about women. Second question was about who is the most exciting newcomers in each division. Again, I can't do each division because that's just a lot of damn fighters that I can't process in my head right now. But
Fair.
Tuporia is exciting. Pavlovich is exciting.
Yeah,
Almeida,
Tapora, the way he did Emmett, that shit was, yeah, that motherfucker had precision and power. That shit was nuts. That guy might for real be a champion. Which not immediately. I feel like in a couple years.
I mean, to be fair, Emmett didn't really
He didn't
have
he didn't get
he
his
didn't
get started.
he didn't have a great game plan going into that fight.
No, he probably was like, "Fuck it, dude. Let me just see what happens." Just come in there and shape, and that's about what you can do for him. Because that guy is a puzzle. What are you gonna
But
do?
yeah,
Just
there's
do striking? Like Taporia is Taporia.
there's uh there's Taporia, there's Shavkat, there's Almeida, there's
Shavkat.
Pavlovich, there's the Bonfim brothers. There's a lot of up and comers. There's somebody that just fought like a couple cards ago that I was just like, dude, he's a problem. He's a problem.
Who's Shavkat supposed to fight? Because he was supposed to fight Kevin Gastelum. That's right. And then I think Usman was trying to call him out. Damn, that's somebody
I
I
don't
think that could be a champion too.
I don't know who's gonna be, but yeah.
That
You
motherfucker's
got
a
any
buck.
you got any up and comers that you want to name, or did I pretty much cover it?
You for sure named most of them besides Aspinall, but Shavkat's one that I'm really interested in. Because I was interested in the Hamzat Enigma just because, you never really seen a whole lot of fighters like that. But he kind of is too inactive. Shavkat's one that I want to see get tested. In his last fight when he fought Neil, he was kind of just fucking around. I feel like if he came in there like serious and was just trying to win the fight, he would have smoked him. But he came in and was like, fuck it, I'll see what I can do.
Wide or not Weidman? I said Weidman because the next question's
Oh,
about
he fights
Weidman.
this
But
weekend.
yeah,
Is it this weekend?
I didn't mean to say Weidman though. The only reason I said Weidman is because I'm looking at the damn question that has Weidman on it. But I was
I'm
gonna
so
say Kevin
interested in
Holland,
that.
man. Kevin Holland is super active. It's crazy how active he is. You know he's about to fight JDM
What?
like hella soon too. Yeah, bro, he's hella active. It's crazy how many fights that dude takes. That's why I really enjoy him as a fighter.
Damn.
No bromo. But
No, I mean
he's
that guy
super
can take
active,
any
bro.
fight.
He's super active, and he will fight anybody at any given time as long as Kevin Holland is medically cleared, he will fight. Like, and it's crazy because JDM is another one of these up and coming
Prospects.
prospects that everybody's hyping up. You know what I mean? Not so much after his last performance, but
He could still strike his ass off, and Kevin's just gonna strike. So
it's gonna be fun. And and if Holland wins, boom, all the
oh
momentum
yeah,
that JDM has, boom,
snuff that
they
out.
could be he could be talking about him
Got
getting a
Gokhan
potential
Saki.
title shot. Go on, Saki.
Gokhan. Put some respect on Saki, man.
This next question, this is actually an Instagram question. This one's from my boy Otis Linkman. He said, "Does Chris Weidman get back on track against Brad Tavares?" Let me put it like this, bro. If Chris Weidman does not beat Brad Tavares, he needs to retire.
100%.
Flat out. Flat out. Flat
Well,
out. And that's not even a shot to Tavares, but Tavares has been in the game a long time. And that should be a super winnable fight for Chris Weidman. And if he doesn't win, he ends up getting slept by Tavares, who, I mean, let's just be real. He's been fighting longer than he probably should have been. Like, he's still good, but he's not ever going to get a title shot. He's not ever, at this point in his career, he's not ever going to get a title shot. You know what I mean? He's just going to be probably in the middle tier of whatever division he fights in. You know what I'm saying? Which is, if he's fighting Weidman, that's like 185, right? Yeah, 185.
He's
He's
gonna be
not.
a
He's always
gatekeeper.
going to be like middle of the pack. He's not gonna. You know what I mean? Weidman should 1,000% retire if he doesn't beat Brad Tavares. And ain't nothing
I,
wrong with that because Weidman did the unimaginable, which is dethrone prime Anderson Silva, and nobody will ever be able to take that from him. So just feel like a lot of fighters. I was just telling somebody the other day, like they were talking about, like we were having that who has Izzy surpassed Anderson Silva debate again. You know what I mean? Like me and you had on the podcast, but I was having it with somebody on Twitter, and I was like, in my opinion, no. And same reason, I just felt like Anderson's run was more dominant, and Izzy likes to more or less coast through his fights. And old boy was like, "Well, are we gonna not factor in all of Anderson Silva's losses after he lost the belt?" But I'm like, "But bro, MMA fighters rarely go out on top.
yeah, them
90. I'm
motherfuckers
gonna
stayed
say like
active. So
I'm gonna say 80% of MMA fighters stay in the game way longer than they should have and take way more losses than they should have. So that doesn't take
you
away
gotta
from Anderson Silva's dominance at all.
no, you gotta see their career at their peak. Like you don't judge them based off of anything after that because that's just a motherfucker that just loves sport. They'll just keep going until their body shuts down. So you just if you're gonna judge a fighter, judge him on the peak of his career, where he
Yeah.
was, and what his full capabilities were, and leave it at
There's a
that.
lot of fighters who took way more losses than they should have. And there's a lot of there's very few fighters that just quit while they were ahead. You know what I mean? GSP won the middleweight title. Bam, done. Never again. Habib, boom, goes out on top. Done. Never again. Like, but that's very rare. Most fighters that retire always come back. Like, I can think of many fighters who stayed in the game way too long. Frankie
Uh-huh.
Edgar, Anderson Silva. Um, I said many fighters and then I stop at two.
Diego
Um,
Sanchez,
Diego Sanchez. There's hella fighters who stayed.
BJ
Bigfoot's
Penn,
BJ Penn, Bigfoot Silva.
Bigfoot.
Um, there's a lot of them, dude. I'm smoking, so I'm like, but there's a lot of them, dude. A lot. Jose Aldo took more losses than he should have. You know what I'm saying? Like Chuck Liddell, Rashad Evans. There's a lot of fighters who took mad L's when they probably could have just, you know what I mean? Like,
Sam,
how many
oh
times did Liddell
Sam,
have to get Sam Alvey? Like,
Sammy boy, Sammy. That dude was supposed to play me in Smash Bros. Nah, he said something about it. And I told him I beat him. And he said something else, but he never played me.
so yeah. To answer your question, brother,
Give him that work.
if Weidman doesn't beat Brad Tavares, I think he should just call it a career. Period.
Man, but
Last
Whiteman, let's before we get off the topic, I just want to talk about Whiteman with the elbow against Munoz. That was still some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. That was some legendary shit. So you remember that whenever his name is spoken. You know, that guy's a legend. That was the
number one,
craziest elbow ever.
number one.
And that should
I
have got
was
stopped immediately.
that was part of what I was gonna say, but
Shitty ref.
I was gonna say number one. I was literally there live.
Wow, that fight was nuts, dude. I was
I think that
watching it
was
live.
the second MMA event because me and my lady at the time, like when they started having UFC events in San Jose, we went to all of them motherfuckers. So the very first event they had in San Jose was Hendo and Shogun, and we went to that, which
That
was
fight was a banger.
incredible,
Yeah,
one of
banger
the
fight.
greatest fights of all time. So I was
Absolutely.
very fortunate to see that live. And yeah, I believe the second event I went
History.
to was Munoz, and about because one, he beat Munoz, who I was rooting for, and secondly, because he called out Anderson Silva afterwards, and I was like, nigga, please,
Yeah,
you ain't ready for prime time, and then he ends up
that was
beating him.
nuts, dude.
And he ends up beating him.
And then that freak accident. And then his freak accident.
And that stoppage was horrendous, to say the least.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was Josh Rosenthal, and Josh Rosenthal used to let people get beat. All right. Last question, which is from Rhino Combat Sports. It's actually a really, really big MMA podcast. Shout out to them. Rhino asked if you two were going to watch an entire UFC card with the volume off and instead have a full album of music you had to listen to while watching, what albums would you guys choose? Gotta be just one, and remember, we're talking at least 4 or 5 hours at least. That's crazy because you're gonna have to play that album on a
On loop.
continuous loop,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can do
got to
it.
be an album that you will not get sick of.
I can find some. I could probably even find the fucking vinyl.
I bet I already know what this nigga's gonna say. He gonna say some motherfucking Doom album, probably.
Nah, some. Yeah, you know what? He's got some instrumentals I could throw on. 'Cause I can't listen to lyrics on loop for 5 minutes, especially if I'm trying to watch a fight. But instrumentals, yeah, any MF Doom instrumental, the Metal Fingers, especially. Herbs and Spices is really good too.
But I mean, you're watching it without the volume on anyway, so
If it's lyrics, then I'll be focusing on the lyrics. So if it's instrumentals that just vibe straight through my head, nothing, like sticks.
your
So
answer would be like a motherfucking Doom
yeah,
instrumental.
MF Doom, Metal Fingers, or like Herbs and Spices by MF Doom.
Okay. Okay. Me, if I'm already watching the TV without the volume on, I don't think I don't even think because I'm not listening to the commentary or anything like that, so
hmm
I don't think it would matter to me.
I just like to hear the sounds of the strikes.
But
That's
you're
all I
watching
give a
with the
fuck about.
volume off
You know what I'm saying? That's the
completely,
only reason
so
why I
you're not
watch
going to hear
fights.
shit. Period. So,
hmm
so
No lyrics.
me,
For
oh
me.
man, no, he's taking instrumentals. I personally, if I'm already watching with zero volume, I don't think it would matter to me. My thing is, what album am I not going to get sick of after hearing it for 4 or 5 hours straight?
I think that's the
That's a
whole premise.
long ass time to listen to any album, even if you love it. Even if you love it, that's a long. And I am a music aficionado,
hmm
so like, shit, man, fuck, that's hard. Um, damn, son, I'm
Damn,
gonna go
son.
with, I'm gonna go with either, I'm gonna go with either Michael Jackson's Thriller or Michael Jackson's Bad. I feel like
Hell yeah.
you know what? No. I take that back. Actually, no. I'm just gonna add another album to it. um, shit. I'd go with Michael Jackson's Bad album, or either Michael Jackson's Bad, Thriller, or Off the Wall album. I'm a Michael fanatic, so I feel like he's the only cat that I could listen to for that fucking long and not get sick of. So yeah, I'd go with. Rhino said he'd go with Metallica. You can never go wrong with Metallica. I ain't mad at that answer. But yeah, for me it'd be one of those three for sure. Shout out to everybody who asked that questions. That took 45 fucking minutes to answer all of
Yeah.
those. Oh my goodness. Now let's get to this Saturday. Let's make some
Hope you got it pulled up
predictions.
because I don't.
You know me, bruh. No, I play B. Play for keeps.
Yeah, my own setup done. Shit to bed. So I'm gonna try to
All
set
right.
some shit up this
First
weekend.
fight. Marina Moroz against Karine Silva. Karine Silva 16-4. Marina Moroz 11-4. I'm going with Karine Silva just for the simple fact that if she accidentally headbutts her, it's a wrap. Like she's not getting up. That forehead
And
is foreheading. Um,
it can absorb shock. That's a fair bet.
who you rolling with?
I gotta go with you on that one.
All right. Next fight is Andrea KGB Lee against Natalia Silva. I'm going with Natalia Silva just on the strength that I fucking can't stand KGB. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm not even taking statistics or any of that shit into consideration. I just don't like her ass, so I'm picking opposite.
I think
Period.
she gets it too. I think KGB wins.
You taking KGB? Yeah.
Yeah, I think she wins, man.
That's the smart bet, but again,
That sucks.
I'm just picking just
Yeah.
based off pure hatred. All right, next fight is Gerald Mearshart against Andre Petrosky.
Mm. Mearshart. I think Mearshart might get that one. I think he might pull that one out of his ass.
I'm going Mearshart too, to be honest. Brad Katona against Cody Gibson. Brad Katona, I believe both of these dudes were just on. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure this is this is the two finalists for the these are the
Honor
finalists for
shit.
the for the
Ultimate
Ultimate
Fighter.
Fighter. I watched
I
the
gotta
entire
see.
season and I can't even fucking I don't even know.
Remember them? I gotta see their faces again.
I'm gonna go Katona actually. I don't know. I'm going Katona. That's for the bantamweight finals, the bantamweight tough finals.
Was he the which team was he on?
He was on. Pretty sure he's the only person on fucking Team McGregor that got the dub, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that though. I'm fucking toasted.
I'm rooting. No, whoever is not on Connor's team is gonna win. That's how I feel.
That's fair. And then
Where's
you got the
Jason
light.
Knight? What happened to him?
I think he got beat.
Damn, that sucks.
Um,
I got
uh,
his school.
and then in the lightweight finale, it's going to be Austin Hubbard and Kurt Hollabaugh. Dude, Kurt Hollabaugh beat the absolute dog shit out of his last opponent. Like, it was fucking bad. Like, they were hyping that fight up like it was like the best fight of the season. And I was like, dude, that fight was so fucking one-sided. It wasn't even funny. Why were they
Smoked him.
hyping it up somehow? He beat
Shouldn't
the
have been
absolute
sanctioned.
shit. He beat the absolute shit out of him, bro. Like, it was crazy. So I'm going with Hollabaugh just on that alone. Like, he whooped that dude's ass. He looked nice in his fight to get
Yeah,
into the finale.
yeah. Especially after a performance like that, you can't go against him. I just want to see that momentum keep riding. I mean, you
And
got to go off of the last performance.
for sure, for sure.
Smoked him.
And we got RoboCop against Dennis Tilulin. I'm going RoboCop just because I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of a
Yeah,
savage.
yeah. It's the dog, man. I got to go with him.
All right,
Can't go against him.
next fight, we got Weidman and Brad Tavares. I'm going Weidman because again, if he can't beat Tavares, he needs to.
I mean, I obviously, I think 99% of us want Whiteman to win, dude. You know, especially to come back off of that injury. It's
I don't know
inspirational.
about wanting him to win, but I think
I
he
want
will.
him to win, man. I just want
He
him
just
to do it. He needs it.
some shit will just never be forgiven. And beating Anderson Silva twice is nope.
A lot of people were mad because they said he celebrated after his leg broke.
He celebrated the win. He didn't celebrate breaking his leg. And
Yeah,
I don't
people were
even like
mad about
Weidman,
that.
and I'm not gonna hold that against
People
him.
were real salty about that. I mean, I didn't see it like that, but I remember that being a hot topic.
Dude, when he broke Anderson's leg by checking his leg kick,
Yeah,
the
I was like
one
hurt, dude.
I honestly like, yeah, of course I felt bad
Hmm.
for Silva, of course. That's dude, my favorite fighter ever. And there's not even a close second. Like it's not even close. And I genuinely felt bad when he broke his leg, but at the same time, like I had to really, really give Weidman his respect because after the very first fight, the one thing he acknowledged was, "I need to start checking leg kicks more." And he
Yeah, I mean, he
fucking won
broke
the
his
second
shin.
fight. And he won the second fight by checking a leg kick. So I mean,
Yeah, I
his
mean,
fight
he didn't.
IQ is off the charts. So that's all I could think of when that happened was, damn, dude, Weidman like predicted his own future basically, like in a sense. Like,
You can't
but
say his fight IQ is off the charts. Maybe just in
well, I
that
mean,
fight,
at the
but
time,
then the back kick against Luke.
at the time, I meant at the time.
That's just my brain was just like back kick against Luke Rockhold, back kick against Luke Rockhold. Jesus, dude, I think he was winning that fight too. Until then,
All right, and then we got Cheeto Vera against Pedro Munoz. That should be a good ass fight. Actually, that should be a
I think
banger.
Pedro wins.
Really?
He's more technical. I think he can play it safe.
I've been
Win
I
by decision.
starting to not like Cheeto. I'm not gonna lie, but
Cheeto will.
I don't want to keep fucking. I don't want to keep being biased when it comes to these picks. I want to pick who I think is actually gonna win.
I mean, he will
And
try to smoke him throughout the whole fight, without a
I'm
doubt.
gonna go
Cheeto will
Cheeto.
throw.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Cheeto.
I just think Munoz, because he's defensively sound, I think he'll play it smart and win by decision.
Damone Blackshear against Mario Batista. Who you got?
I got Batista.
I got
Easy
Blackshear.
for me. Let's go.
Neil Magny, who is replacing Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal had to pull out. I don't remember why.
And
Against
I don't
Ian
think there's a.
Gary. I don't like Ian Gary at all. Don't.
As much as I don't like him, I gotta say this
But
dude's
I'm
beating
gonna take.
people.
I think he's gonna beat Neal, huh?
I said as much as I don't like him, this dude's good.
I think.
And
Yeah, I think he's gonna beat Neal. Yeah, I think he'll beat Neil Magny.
unless Neil gets
Unless
his
Neil
hands on
Magny
him,
could
but
do what he does best and
hold him
hold him
against the
to a boring ass fight.
cage. Smother that boy. He could smother him.
You can
But that
smother him,
kid's young, man. He's young and he's wiry, so he might go scramble his way out.
and the
Unless
experience is always
he
gonna
got
play a
that old
factor.
man grip. Just holds onto his ass and tires him out. I don't know, man. That's
It's either gonna be a quick. It's either gonna be a quick fight or a boring as shit one. It's gonna be a quick.
yeah.
It's gonna be a quick win for Gary or a boring ass, long ass 15, but it's gonna feel like 35-minute win
I
for
think
Neil. But I'm going
off
Gary.
top of my head, I think Gary's too quick and he catches him early.
Whaley
So I gotta go
Zhang.
with Gary.
Whaley Zhang against Lemos. I'm going Zhang all day.
Yeah, she's a fucking animal. Whaley.
Yeah. And
Easy.
Aljo and O'Malley. I think that's gonna be easy. I think Aljamain's gonna make it look easy. Not even gonna
Statistically.
lie. Like he just has more. He just has way more tools in his game. Am I saying O'Malley can't knock him out? No. But do I see it happening? Absolutely not. I don't. Crazier things have happened, but I just see Aljo backpacking that fool. I
Uh,
honestly think Aljo's gonna like submit him in the second round, third round. So I see that going, honestly.
I can just see a fucking. I could peer. I'm so fried. I could peer to a universe where O'Malley catches him with an intercept knee or something because he knows he's gonna shoot and he's ready to to die and not get taken down. So that motherfucker is prepared for a shot. I don't think Sterling's gonna strike with him because O'Malley's just got that question mark about him. Like you never really know what he can knock you out with, but he can knock you out with so much shit because he throws crazy shit all
I
the time.
I 100% agree with you. I don't even think he's gonna test it. I don't.
No,
I
so he's
think
gonna shoot pretty quick.
he's gonna strike with him long
He
enough to
might
set
crack him
up a
hard
takedown.
once, and then
I think he's gonna strike with him just because he's
just
gonna
get
have to
his
strike
mind
with him just to set it
off the
up.
takedown. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
I don't think
possible.
he's not gonna test the waters like that. Like I think he's just gonna strike with him long enough to set up the takedown, and I think he's just gonna work him on the ground. That's all I think that fight's gonna go, personally.
Man, I hope O'Malley catches him on some crazy shit, just because that's like the underdog story, because he's got a lot of different weapons that he could use against. I think Aljo is significantly shorter. He's got O'Malley's got a pretty good reach, and the way he throws this straight, man, that shit is hard to tell where it's coming from. He throws it from like lower, and the way you just gotta watch the way that motherfucker throws that shit. I think he's got a good chance of catching him, man, on one of the takedowns. Smart statistically, Aljo, but I want to go with O'Malley.
That's fair. All
I'm
right.
gonna go with O'Malley.
All right. I didn't really take much.
The underdogs.
I didn't really take much MMA news down, just for the simple fact. Well, actually, you hit me up and said you were ready. That's why I stopped. I was like right in the middle of it. But I mean, shit, we've been going for so long anyway. It's kind of perfect. So, um, let's talk about the Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight. What did you think of that fight? I thought it was kind of boring. Kind of
Uh,
went kind of
I
went
mean,
exactly how I thought it was going to go.
yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of like what we all expected, that Nate was gonna hang on him, dirty box, get cracked hard one time, maybe dropped, get back up, fight the rest of the fight. Not really, land a couple good combos. It's what we all expected. Expected him to look good and to probably get cracked. You know what I mean? Because he knows that this young dude can crack, and he's a little bit more technical. Nate kind of gets sloppy. He just kind of does. He gets sloppy in there, so he's getting cracked with that overhand. It went
It
exactly how we
just,
expected.
yeah, it went like to a T how I thought it was going to go. Like
Yeah,
I didn't think Nate Diaz had any chance really. Like he doesn't have that super knockout power, and at this point in his career, he's just. I mean, but him versus Tony Ferguson was a clear indication of like what I mean, like where he's at as far as like skills and whatnot go. Like he's just
it's
not. It's not there anymore. He's old, a lot
it's
older.
kind of wild,
I don't want
man.
to say he's old. We're like damn near the same age,
Wasn't
but
Tony hurt? Everybody else he's fought, right? Except for Nate in the last couple fights, because he cracked Chandler and dropped him. I think he cracked Gaethje and dropped him, and he cracked fucking Green. That motherfucker still got power, but I don't think he almost dropped Nate. I don't think he landed anything super hard on Nate. So
yeah,
Nate's
just Nate doesn't have that
still
knockout
pretty
power
fucking
like
elite.
that. I mean, Nate. I just didn't see that boxing trend. I was just like, hey,
No,
he's gonna
it's
get paid, and apparently he did get hella
mm-hmm.
paid. So I mean,
Fuck it, why not?
that's all I saw
Just
it as. Hey man,
to
get your
punch
bread.
the other guy. Fuck it. Pay to punch somebody you don't like.
Apparently Derek Lewis signed a fucking 8 fight deal recently.
8 fights is nuts. I
Eight
can't
fights is
even
crazy,
pick
especially
8 fights for
when
him.
he was going the way he was before he got that knockout he got in his last fight.
I think that's pretty much like 8 fights as a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you're gonna play gatekeeper role, the heavyweight, because we like the way you fight. So we're just gonna throw you whoever the fuck wants to come in as heavyweight. And they might, I mean, 8 fights. That's a lot of. I don't know, man. That's nuts. Is he gonna
The
make a title
UFC,
run?
no. Uh,
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be the gatekeeper role. Just put on a show and we'll keep paying you.
he's not enough of a tactician, man. Like it's just
No, you know what he's gonna do?
his
Swing and
fights
bang,
are all 50-50.
and I'll root for
Like
him every time.
exactly. But I mean, I'm just saying as far as like trying to garner a title shot, he just you know what I mean? He's got a one-track mind. I'm gonna knock him out or he's gonna knock me out. You know what I mean? And it's just not gonna
Maybe on
translate
some
well.
Bisping shit. On some Bisping shit. Later on in his career,
Maybe
they'll give him a shot.
like a last-minute replacement type shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that, but
on some Bisping
other
shit,
than
they'll do
that,
that.
like I don't know. He already had one
Some
title shot,
bucket.
and we saw how that went.
What'll happen is somebody Jones Jones versus Stipe, they're both gonna retire. The belt will be up for a little bit. Derek Lewis will fight somebody else. The belt will bounce around, and then they'll give him a shot at it. I think some point in time. I want him to get that fucking the Bisping treatment. See, Bisping also fought Hendo, and Hendo wasn't ranked very high. You never know.
Yeah,
Anything
that's
can
true.
happen.
That's
It's all
true.
about money.
Yep.
If they want to do you a favor, because they might have to do that motherfucker a favor. How much revenue he brings in, taking his pants off and shit, breaking the internet.
The UFC is still taking shots at Francis Ngannou, which is insane to me. It just makes me feel like
That's just hating.
Dana White's like heartbroken over that shit. It seems like, or
No,
just
he is.
like
He's
super,
hating.
super spiteful.
Yeah.
You know what?
Exactly
Do you know what
what
I'm talking about when I say they're still taking shots?
Yeah, I saw
The only
first Cameroonian.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
And then
Like
Francis gets
they're
a perfect clapback. He's like, actually, I wasn't even the first. It was such and such. So don't let them erase our history.
yeah, that's
Damn.
wild. That's wild, dude. They're
Disrespectful
like
ass
literally
niggas.
trying to erase him from the history books, bro. Like that's crazy to me. Like, get over it, bro. Get the
Still
fuck
that
over it.
stain. There's that stain on the heavyweight division forever.
Get over it, bro. That's
That
all.
fucking that they didn't respect the heavyweight champion. He was smoking everybody and just he left the belt and was like, fuck it. There's always that question mark. Because I felt like I said it a long time ago that he should have fought John Jones. He was gonna put John Jones out. John Jones is too technical that he would. I think he'd get cracked by the wildness of Francis. His mind wouldn't be thinking about that crazy shit that Francis does. His ego would make him try to fight with Francis. I think he'd get cracked. Too bad that fight never happened.
So, Dana White refusing to pay Wonder Boy, even though Wonder Boy made weight. He did his part. And how do you feel about that? Do you feel like Wonder Boy should have got paid regardless?
I feel like in that situation, you should
Or do you feel
pay.
like because he didn't fight, he shouldn't have? Like Dana.
I mean, you gotta give him something. The motherfucker put his body through all that shit. Like that's still a job, even if you do half the job, nigga, and you have to stop, you still want money for half the work you did. You know what I'm saying? Like the motherfucker cut and did all that shit. It's not his fault. I feel like he should be compensated for all the costs for his camp, and they should be like, hey, here's like a quarter maybe or something if you pay. You know what I mean? Here's you made profit, and that's the best we could do and rebook it. So here's something for you cutting weight and being a professional. Maybe not his
And
whole purse because that's nuts. Like that's just bad business.
no, I agree with you 100%. Like these dudes have to pay out of their own pockets for these fight camps.
Yeah,
Like
this should just be like a.
you should compensate him for what I mean. He
This should be a
shouldn't.
hit for the company. The company takes a hit, writes a check, then you punish the guy that misses the weight. Like that's how you do it. They're like, okay, I have to pay. This company had to pay, so now you're punished, bro, because you made me pay money. So they should punish him for missing the weight. Pay Wonder Boy out of pocket.
He did his fucking job at the end of the
Percentage,
day.
yeah, 100%.
He did his
Pereira,
job.
or was it? What's his name?
Um,
Dude, he's fighting Alex. Is it?
his name is Perea. I believe his name is Perea. His last name is Perea as well. The fuck I know you're talking about, Mr. Flippity
Capoeira.
Dip. Huh? Yeah, fucking
Capoeira
Eddie,
man.
fake ass Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Nordo. He could have like let a motherfucker know, like, hey man, I'm probably not gonna make weight. Like catch weight. I mean, you could have gave him a heads up so he could have been like, no, not happening. But that motherfucker still cut weight. Like he made him wait. So that motherfucker cut all the weight, in that last night. Especially for somebody that age, that motherfucker probably put in some work. You know what I mean? Just for you not to just like, hey man, I'm like 5 pounds over or whatever the fuck he was. That's fucked
I
up, man. You
just
should have just let him know so he didn't have to keep cutting weight that night.
I just see it as a petty ass catty move by Dana, just for the simple fact that he didn't get what he wanted, which was Wonder Boy to take the fight any fucking way.
Oh damn! I didn't. Yeah, I just saw it. You just can't give him like his whole purse if he didn't fight. But yeah,
No,
I
but
mean
to
that
not
kid
give him
is
anything at
trying to
all is
bully him.
fucking.
Oh, he didn't get anything.
I don't think so, but
They didn't
I
even
could
pay
be
for his
wrong.
camp.
I could be
Okay.
wrong. I mean, I think I don't know. Alex B. Hunan, our boy,
Mhm.
he asked Dana
Yes.
straight up.
And
I
he
just don't
said some shit
remember.
about.
I
He
just don't
said
remember
that.
Dana's answer.
I'm gonna paraphrase, but he said some shit like, obviously you can't give him his whole check because he didn't fight. That was what their contract to do is fight. So he'll get with them and they'll negotiate. But it's all the camps and shit and all the travel and that shit is confiscated. By default was basically what he was saying. So obviously he's gonna get paid something, but to
Yeah.
get your entire paycheck, that's absurd.
No, I don't.
You know,
I
it's like,
definitely don't think you should
can
get.
I get my whole check? I didn't fight. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, can
I
I stick my check? And it's like,
definitely.
no, bro, you can't do that.
No,
But at least pay him for cutting the weight for sure.
I would never advocate for him getting his whole check. Hell no, but he definitely should, and hopefully did get something for sure.
Hmm.
And yeah, shit, that's
Yeah, cut
pretty
the weight,
much.
professional.
That's pretty much it. For my notes. Well, other than the Musk and Zuckerberg, the Musk and Zuckerberg fight is more than likely not happening anymore, and I think I speak for all real MMA fans when I say thank fucking God.
They're
That's all,
supposed to be entertaining
that's
it.
all I got. That's all I got.
Well,
Man, nobody wants to see that
Elon
shit.
entertaining it. No,
No,
Zucker nerd would smack him.
no real fight fan wants to see that fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah, Dana said, I want to do it in the Coliseum. Dude, if he did that shit, a fucking plague would fucking burden this damn planet. The damn gods and the spirits over there would be so damn mad. Having these two fucking goofy nerds fucking titty tat fighting in the middle of their Coliseum where niggas was fighting lions and shit. Fuck, you better rip his fucking spine out. They got some Mortal Kombat shit. Y'all over here slapping and shit. Bro, that is the most disrespectful shit ever. If he came into my country and asked to do that shit, like if I was in charge over there, I would be so disrespected. That's fucking nuts. He's out of his gourd
Yeah, I know, man.
in the Coliseum.
I have I had zero fucking desire to watch that fight. So therefore, if
No,
it
I
doesn't
watch it.
happen, I mean, I
I'm not
would watch
invested in
it.
it.
I would watch it, but I mean, I watch a
I'm
lot of
not
fights that I
invested.
have zero. I watch a lot of fights that I have zero interest in, but it's
Exactly.
because I'm a fan of the sport, not you know what I mean. I'm not a fan of that
I just
freak
want to
show
see
shit.
violence. I just want to
That
see a
would
good fight
it
and
would have been
violence.
like watching. It would have been like watching two CM Punks in there, though. I'm sure. Well, no, not necessarily because Zuckerberg actually fucking
CM
trains
Punk had BJJ.
BJJ. Shit,
He
motherfucker
was
got
doing
his
that shit beforehand too.
supposedly. I
So hey,
I
hey,
motherfucker didn't look like that. Motherfucker looked like he got his black belt from a fucking cereal box.
he collected the coupon and mailed them in.
Yeah,
That's fucked up.
I'll
I was
take
hoping
Zuckerberg.
he got
I'll
another
take
fight.
Zuckerberg. I would take Zuckerberg against CM Punk probably.
Yeah, he's just where. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. I think.
I
I
think
watch that.
Zuckerberg could beat CM Punk in an MMA fight. I'm just
He's
gonna be
younger,
real.
right? He's more spry. I don't know if he can strike though. I don't know if his striking's all there, but he can beat DJ. I've seen him roll. I think when people don't know how to, when people aren't like they haven't been doing it for years, they just don't seem comfortable when they strike. They throw their straights and shit. He just seems kind of awkward, like Rock'em Sock'em. When I was watching spar, the Zucker nerd. So that motherfucker, his hands is kind of weak.
I feel like it just got dimmer in this motherfucker for some reason. But shit, that's gonna wrap it up for us, man. We already been going longer than an hour, so
Good, 'cause I'm
but
obliterated. I need to take a nap.
for sure. But man, like I
That
said
shit was
before,
fun.
man, to everybody that's been tapping in these last 3 years, we appreciate y'all, man. And
Real
I'm
ones
gonna,
do.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna end it on this note. Notice there's a lot of fucking gamblers on Twitter, on MMA Twitter, like a lot of gamblers on MMA
They
Twitter.
ain't got money for that shit.
I I love to gamble myself, man. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely gamble within my means. I'm not gonna spend my last $20 to gamble, but
Yeah, you can't really do it where I'm at.
I do like to gamble, and for all you people that do like to gamble, I think I'm gonna post my prize pick slip for UFC 292. You guys want to tail it? Go right ahead, but if y'all niggas lose, don't get mad at me because
Yeah,
I
it's just a suggestion.
exactly. You can either
Easy
take it or not. You feel
suggestions.
me? I'll
My humble
I'll
suggestions.
I'll give explanations as to why I made these picks, but just because I made these picks don't mean you got to. You feel me? So I ain't
Caution.
trying to hear shit if you lose. You feel me? At all. At
Caution.
all. That's all I gotta say. But man, until next time, we're out. I'm gonna let my boy get some sleep. His
Joe, I'm about to
work
go to bed.
schedule is the complete opposite of mine. So yeah, right. Until next time, y'all. We out. Peace.
Dude, I'm fucking beat.
All right, here are my picks. Number one, I went with Gregory Robocop Rodriguez for more significant strikes, just for the simple fact that I feel like 28.5 is extremely, extremely low for a striker like him. So I feel like it was a steal. Next, Karine Silva. I took less than 12.5 minutes of fight time because in her last 6 or 7 fights, if I'm not mistaken, definitely 6 or 7, not one of those fights has gone past the second round. So I like that one a lot. So I took it. Daquan Buckley, I took less fight time just because heavyweights typically end their fights pretty quickly in less than 2 rounds. So I like that one, so I ran with it. I took Danilo Marquez for less 72.5 fantasy score just for the simple fact that I don't think he's going to win the fight. I just don't. So I ran with that one. I took Renan Ferreira for 16.5 strikes. I took over because I just feel like 16.5 is disrespectfully low for a strike for a heavyweight. And if he doesn't get more than 16.5 strikes, I would be pleasantly surprised. And last but not least, I took Weili Zhang for less than 14.75 fight time minutes, just for the simple fact that I think she's going to get her out of there in the first 2 rounds. And those are my picks. If you like them, tail them. If you only like 2 of them, take 2. If you like 4, take 4. Do what you will with them. Tail at your own risk, because I'm not a pro at this, but I do follow the sport pretty heavily. And if you win, you're welcome. But if you lose, I don't want to hear a damn thing. Period. It's gambling for.
That shit that I was rapping's what I'm bringing to fruition. Wait, except for college, what I'm missing's intuition. But it ain't important as a body is the vixens. Really more like Tom Cruise, probably is the Kidman. A path you saw right that didn't work out in the ending. Now it's long nights, skirt the merchants, and we spend